Today, the Teaching Challenge features an icon of British popular music. His band Madness has enjoyed more than 20 chart hits. Suggs is returning to his old school, Quintin Kynaston in North London, for the first time in 30 years to teach a songwriting class to GCSE music students. There to greet him are Head of Music Sue Coleman and the newly crowned Secondary Head Teacher of the Year, Joe Shooter.
And you.
Really proud to have you back.
Thank you very much.
This is Sue Coleman, who's our Head of Music, who
Sue.
we love and adore.
Excellent.
She's a lovely, lovely woman.
Brilliant.
And she's got a lovely group of students that you're going to be working with.
Fantastic.
But really good to have you here.
Well, yes, it's very strange.
And it's going to be very different. I think you'll find the
It's
whole
already,
school is very different.
It's very different.
But
I
I
want
think-
to talk to you about that.
Yeah,
Why
no,
is
of course.
that?
Why is it? Oh,
Why was it so different in my... I
say?
know, what was the system called when I was here? Where they just sort of, everyone who got expelled from any other school in a 5-mile radius ended up here.
I think.
I mean, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic headmaster, I've got to say, Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah,
it was a very,
gosh, that
you
is
know,
a long time ago.
You know, very, very caring and
Still the same. That ethos is still the same. It's
Is it?
still
Yeah.
about kids first.
Yeah.
We're still a community school,
Yeah.
which means that we still take lots and lots of children
Right.
from lots and lots of places that have got very difficult circumstances.
absolutely no problem with that. No, but
Yeah.
in my time, it just seemed there was no one else in the school but people.
Oh no, it's not like that now.
Very
Not like that
difficult
now.
problems.
It's a very kind of balanced intake,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we do manage a whole range of kids here.
But it was also, there were no girls when it was the last year I was here when they introduced girls. It was all boys.
That's very
It
difficult,
was-
I think.
it was
creates
very-
a certain kind of ethos. In
Very
it.
much so.
No, girls add value.
Come on then, let's go.
Okay, I'm going to leave you in Sue's capable hands, okay? At school I was excluded a couple of times. I've never been very good at following the rules myself, so I know what it's like for the kids. I think it's great. I think it's great for the school that he wants to come back. I think it's great for the kids to have a sense of somebody famous having been here. And I think he'll find the school very different. It looks different. I think it will feel different. And that's nice for him. It's nice for him to see how things have progressed.
I can't remember this at all, this bit. No, I remember that, which is the connecting corridor, isn't it?
That's right.
Because that is where everything and all things happen. Because in my time, you had 10 minutes to get from that block to that block.
That's right.
And in that
Change your
time,
lessons.
you lived or died. And that was the corridor of passage of rights
Right.
between boyhood and manhood. In my music classes at this school, were being told that I had to play the double bass because I was big. That was the
Right.
only sort of
instrument
criteria. People were given instruments as to their size.
Okay.
And I'd only played it once, and then that next following Friday, I was in the school orchestra playing the double
Expected
bass.
to play,
Exactly. I'd love to have a recording of that performance.
And do you keep up playing the double bass
No,
today?
I didn't, strangely enough,
You
no,
give
no,
that one up.
no.
Oh, fantastic.
Suggs will be making his teaching debut with the music class normally taken by Stephen Lowe. Before the lesson begins, an understandably jumpy Suggs seeks words of comfort from his teaching mentors.
So are you ready for today's lesson? Have you drawn up a lesson plan with your starter, your main activity, the plenary?
Well, what seemed like very gentle questions actually just now was I was hoping to get that plan from you. You haven't been forthcoming enough. But no, I've got no plan. No, I thought about it a bit last night, and you know, I'm as interested to find out from the kids what they are interested in terms of, you know, being able to relate it to my own past, as I am in teaching them something. I hope that just, well, if they even know who I am, would be a start, apart from the man on a fish finger advert, which is what I'm currently famous for. They even know I've made any music. But well, what I was going to start with actually was I wrote the song Baggy Trousers, which I don't know if you ever heard, and I wrote it about this school. And one of the things that occurred to me about writing lyrics is I was a big fan of Ian Dury. I don't know if you know who Ian Dury is. Well, good. I don't suppose they will again. But I like songs about, you know, the detail of life, almost written like a list. And that's in fact what I used to do. I realised the way of writing songs would be to write a list about something you love or you hate in prose, and then adapt it rhythmically and rhymingly after. But you know what I mean? As long as you first thing is to get as many ideas as you can about the subject down, rather than getting stuck with what rhymes with, you know, tambourine.
How long do you plan to spend on that?
What, in the class?
Yeah.
Hopefully the whole 40 minutes.
Okay.
on the lyrics.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
but then
right.
I do have a school report here, which is going to be my kind of fallback. Almost which every page could be turned into a song of some tragedy. But then I thought, well, maybe we could do that. We could get kids to say what they love and hate, or even to think about this school themselves, and maybe start thinking about a list of what they would or wouldn't feel was important about being in this school. Maybe is an idea. I don't know how far we'll get with that.
Okay.
Maybe I'll write songs about you too. What
Uh-oh.
you feel about it.
Good idea.
Stick with the kids, stick with the kids.
Can I go home now?
As Sue and Stephen take up position next door to monitor the lesson, Suggs gathers his last-minute thoughts. The pupils are getting restless. The moment of teaching truth has arrived.
Good afternoon.
These are children. Please look after them carefully.
Yes, fragile.
At first I was afraid. I was petrified. I'm not reading the Gloria Gaynor song. That's actually how I'm feeling. That's a very strange experience. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Suggs, and I have and still am in a band called Madness, which had a relative degree of success over the years. And I went to this school. And the first thing I've got to say is how much, particularly this department, has changed since I was here. You know, for me, it was quite a rough time being in this school. It was a different school. Firstly, there were no girls. And, but obviously, you have to take your own behaviour into consideration. And that's one thing you learn in life, is to be responsible for the outcome of your own behaviour. So it's hard to separate those two things. You know, was I a naughty kid or was the school not very good? I should say somewhere in the middle. But a lot of
Nice way of starting a lesson.
Yeah, it is.
Very personal. And
attitude that to be famous, you know.
I like it because he's sort of explaining who he is, what he's about, and for them to sort of get to know him, really.
But, you know, in my experience, and that's all I can talk about, you have to work very hard if you want to be successful, and especially in music. But, yeah, I mean, the other thing that that relates me to this school is one of the biggest hits I had was called Baggy Trousers. I don't know if any of you heard that song. Back in 1924. And, you what?
1924?
No, I'm joking, yeah. It was not quite 100 years ago, but nearly. But I wrote that song about this school, yeah, and again, that's to do with the sort of mixed feelings I had about it, and probably I was being a bit hard on the school when I wrote it, because you got that feeling.
I think it'd be good if he moves on. Something practical, something what they're involved in. We don't want it to turn into a career opportunities lecture.
no, and start with the objective of the lesson, what they're going to be doing today, and involve them.
So how long have you been studying music?
Well, we started in year 7. It was compulsory for us. And then I chose that as option year 10.
Should also change possibly the way he's seated. Stand up, raise his voice, say, right, we're going to be doing this today. Get the pace going.
And how many of you here write lyrics? Our drummer was the first person to start writing songs, and he came in with his song one day, and I thought, hold on, he's completely stupid. If he can do it, I can definitely do it. And really, it was as simple as that. So I was thinking maybe whether we could set about writing a song about this school today, because Baggy Trousers I wrote in 1979, and it's changed a lot, I'm sure, since then. I thought maybe we could just start with that idea that you could just throw out things that you feel about this school, and just at random, and we can write them down and then see if we can find some sort of structure out of that. We may or we may not. But we're going to write a hit record in the next half an hour.
Good man, he knows what he's doing.
So, does someone just want to start? Would someone just? Sorry, what's your
Osama.
Osama.
Yeah.
Osama, if I was to say to you, Quintin Kynaston, what do you think you would?
It's a good school.
It's a good school.
Yeah, it's
there
a
you
good
go.
school.
It's a good school.
We must tell him that Ofsted prefer outstanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mixed?
It's a mixed school. Anyone else got anything?
The great lyricist finally gets into his stride, and the class are eager to offer up their reflections on the school that's as big a part of their lives as it has been for Suggs.
Anything else that comes to your mind? What's your name?
It's always packed.
Got like multi-talented people in it.
Pretty smelly toilet.
It's rubbish food.
Hold on, that's all good stuff. That's, we got a verse there. Don't know. You're off there sometimes. Not all the time, right?
For the year 11, there's Mr. Tobin. That's who stands out for us.
Mr. Tobin stands up for us. Anything else? Yes, sorry.
The lift hasn't worked from when...
When I was here.
Yeah, probably.
He's been, whenever they give a positive answer, he's always very positive
Positive
as
in
well. But if
return.
it's negative, he just makes a little joke of it and
Yes.
moves on. So I suppose that's a nice thing.
Which is good.
Right then, okay. I think we've got a good start there. So, What we need now then is a chord sequence of some sort. So who fancies throwing themselves into the fire?
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You play guitar, no?
Yeah.
Right, great. Well, there's a guitar here. So,
What sort of thing?
what sort of thing? It's a very good question. I should say the first sort of thing that comes into your mind, sort of thing. So, now we're trying to do an updated sort of baggy trousers. We don't want it to be like that, no. But I think maybe a bit up tempo, something a little bit up tempo.
Well, I've written a song quite recently, which is quite upbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it already have some words?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with that. Let's have a listen to the chord sequence of that.
It's nice letting them just play.
Yeah, it's great that.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's great. That's good. I like that. Now, what needs more space, basically, to be able to write, you know, some sort of structure to what...
Suddenly, Stephen moves to avoid a technological crisis. Interactive Whiteboard Man reaches out to the blackboard and chalk generation.
Well, Stephen, thanks very much. I think I've got the hang of this now. You better go back and continue with your ruthless analysis of my performance.
Good luck.
Marks out of 10. Right then, so, taking just very roughly what we've got on there, right, so the first thing, it's a good school. And it works. But not very well. Especially the lift. Right. Oh, look at that spelling, look at that spelling. Right, okay, so, just as a start, okay? You know, one of the crippling things about writing songs, you get too introverted and worried whether it's any good or not, you know what I mean? The best thing is just to go, like I say, write out a load of things that you're interested in, then start writing something that's, you know, getting a form of rhythm, structure, and then obviously you go back and you go back and you refine it and you refine it. But anyway.
I feel as if he's doing all the thinking.
And all the
and
working.
he's leading and he's working.
Yeah.
And it works, but not very well, especially the lift. It's got special technology, sociology, psychology, something that rhymes with lift.
But that's not a gift.
But that's not a gift. Perfect. Let's have that tune again then. Good school, and it works, but not very
Good, he's performing to them.
That's lovely,
nice.
that modelling, good
I like
modelling.
that.
But we got special technology, we got sociology, and a lot of psychology. But that's not a gift, because it's not a gift because
It stinks.
because it stinks. That'll do. Because it stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, Mia.
Great. So if you could stop after gift, we'll have a cappella there.
Having nailed the lyrics, it's time for performance, and Suggs assembles the band of volunteers.
But we need to get somebody to do a reflection of this lesson and write up a piece for the QK News, possibly.
But will it be a good review? This is probably the most intimate gig Suggs has played in quite some time.
It's a good school, and it works, but not very well, especially the lift. It's got special technology, it's got sociology, it's got psychology, but that's not a gift.
Because it stinks.
Brilliant. Okay. But just before we go, I'll tell you what I found this morning. My school report from this year that you're in now. What used to be called 3S, the 14th of February 1975, Quintin Kynaston School. And just to encourage those of you who may not be doing as well as the others academically and what you can go on and achieve in your life, I should just read out my form teacher's report, end of term report. He's extremely slow. So I don't think you can say that anymore, call people slow, can you? He was extremely slow and is, it seems, even incapable of copying a sentence correctly from the blackboard. It goes without saying that any other form of work seems totally beyond him. I even wonder if I can hope for any improvement. Well, improvement I did. I improved I very much did. But thank you very much for your time, and good luck with it all. It's a great thing, music. It's a joy, and enjoy it. Thank you.
Yeah, we're being detached.
Fabulous. Good.
To sort out the high notes from the bum notes, Suggs, Stephen and Sue settled down for a post-lesson debrief.
Here, so I think overall we were pleased with some of the nice ideas that you had in there. I mean, we picked up on the fact that you wanted to know what the students knew about music and what they had done. We thought that was a really nice touch, and there was a really lovely rapport that was going on between you and the kids, and they're all sitting there and they're all interested.
Good.
And we were concerned though that the pace of the lesson didn't move possibly
Yeah.
as quickly as it could have at the beginning.
Yeah.
It would have been really great to have seen the students involved in an activity right at the very start,
Right.
whether it was a starter activity or possibly the main body of the lesson, actually getting them up and going and all of them interacting.
Yeah, I mean, now you've said that, yeah, I mean, I was procrastinating a bit because I was most nervous about the idea of trying to get people involved for fear that they weren't going to be, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was almost thinking I wasn't going to even bother doing that, I was going to run away.
Yeah.
If I'd had more time, I would have, very much liked to have got everyone involved in one way or another.
Perhaps what you could have done in terms of writing lyrics, instead of asking the class to volunteer ideas, break them up into small groups on their piece of paper to write down 10 points or 10 lines of lyrics, and then come back as a class, and then you would have 30 or 40 lines.
That sounds a very simple solution, yes. And what I was concentrating on, which I thought was relatively successful, is the idea that not to be inhibited when you're in the creative process.
But also the process of writing a song can be quite simple, and you can get a result in 40 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
And I think so many students think, they listen to music in the commercial world, and they think, there's no ways I could create something like that. Yeah. But from today, just unwrapping the process, and starting from the very bottom in terms of writing lyrics, look what the class achieved.
No, sure.
And it's fantastic.
No, really, I do feel with another hour, I mean, my own professional whatever it is in this, was really loath to stop, although we were running out of time.
It would have been fantastic to have more of the music making. Because I think
just
that's
played
what
the video baggy trousers and then got on with it, basically.
Yeah, there we go.
Thought that the lesson with Suggs was pretty good, because I liked how he taught us about writing the music.
Suggs is really entertaining. He actually interacts with the children instead of being the teacher. He's probably one of the kids as well.
He's really cool, and he really interacted with all the students well and got us all involved, and was just a really nice guy.
Having been a bored teenager myself, my biggest fear was to lose their interest completely. And it's a difficult balance, I must say, between being anecdotal and actually listening to what they've got to say. But I felt it went all right.
Home, James. Don't spare the horses.